All right, so let's talk about productivity, because you want to be productive, use your time and energy efficiently to achieve what you want to achieve, right?
Yeah.
So what are your top tips?
Oh,
or let's maybe top
right?
tip for productivity.
Yeah, so my productivity thing, I think, is I really found listening to guided meditation very helpful. And I used to be one of those people who was like, oh, I have no time to meditate. Oh, I can't stop my mind, chattering. There's no way I can think of nothing. And now I've learned, and I've also held this introduction to mindfulness meditation class when I was running the workshop. And I've learned that there's so many ways to meditate. And the point of meditating is to, first of all, observe your mind chattering. And yoga also helps me to do that in the yoga session. But meditation also helps me to see and laugh at myself, like, oh my God, why am I thinking of so many things now? How come I'm so busy? How come I'm so depressed? Or how come I'm so, ADD? And it's really interesting because it helps me to gauge where I'm at the time I'm meditating. So I think starting off small, but doing a regular practice is really helpful.
Right.
And for me, guided meditation is helpful because it focuses me to listen to somebody and do what the person is saying. So if you're new, I highly recommend Esther and Jerry Hicks, Getting into the Vortex guided meditation.
Right.
So she offers 4 types of meditation: the general well-being, physical well-being, financial well-being, and relationships. And the relationships one, I listened to like millions of times, especially when I was going through a hard time with my marriage last one. It's all 15 minutes, and you learn to breathe. So you're focused on your breathing, the way she tells you to inhale and exhale. There's really nice music, and I think it really works on your subliminal, your subconscious so much. So even if you don't really believe or you can't focus on what she's saying, it's really helpful to listen. And it's just 15 minutes. And I recommend to do it first thing in the morning before switching on your phone or anything.
Same. So I do 15 minutes meditation every morning as well. So I started off when, at first, I wanted to meditate, and so many times I kind of tried it and said, it's not working. And then I found the Headspace app.
Oh,
okay. Right? That's one that I started using, Headspace app, and it actually starts with a free trial for, I assume they still do this, 10 days of 10 minutes per day, and it's guided meditation. And I used that for a couple of years, actually increasing the amount of meditation time. And then I discovered that I didn't need the guided meditation anymore. I could just do it myself. So now I do 15 minutes each morning. But we will link, so we'll have the show notes. We'll link to that one by Esther.
I have a lot of. I also have an app called Calm, which I haven't used, but because I often listen to others. But John Kabat-Zinn, Deepak Chopra, Jeffrey Allen, Christy Marie Sheldon from Mind Valley. Those two are also highly recommended. So it really depends on whose voice resonates with you at the time.
Yeah.
I found out that many of these meditation teachers' voices are really high. So for me, when I'm listening to a man's high voice, it doesn't really work for me. I like Deepak Chopra's voice a lot. But it's also about the message. So you have to. And Esther Hicks' voice, I think everybody loves it. It's just so peaceful, calming, and soothing. So I recommend. Anyway,
Okay, so that's great. And what I think is important about this is often when we think about productivity, we think it's like working hard and doing lots, and it's not.
No.
It's really about slowing down, getting quiet, and that's what helps you then to use your time and energy efficiently.
Yeah. I attended a seminar a couple of years ago, and I think Dalai Lama's right arm man. What is it? What do they say in English?
Right hand.
Right hand. But he's a physician. Dalai Lama. So Dr. Barry Pearson talked about how we become human doings. We're human beings. So we have to relearn or unlearn the habits of I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I just have to be.
Yeah.
It's just surrender mode. So I love it.
Yeah. I love that.
Learning to be.
So now I'm thinking about
This is how I talk. Sorry, girls.
No, this is great, because now I'm thinking about, okay, so how does that then lead us to results?
Yeah.
So what's an example of a result? It
Yeah.
could be a big goal
Yeah.
or a dream that you've achieved in your life.
From the meditation?
Just in general, something that you have achieved in your life
Yeah.
that you feel really happy about and that you can share.
So from meditation, I definitely achieved a lot of space in my head to look at my situation and not be overwhelmed. So there's a direct correlation, because we tend to think, oh, I have so much to do.
Yeah.
And by meditating, actually giving more time to meditate allows us to have more time and energy to do things. So that's one of the many benefits of meditating in yoga. Aside from that, the surrender experiment for sure has taken me to so many, for example, recently I had a client who's my secret client, actually. He is, it's secret because I've started a new program this year for people who wants to just up their personal branding. So they don't want to go through the whole Om Patal, Fam Patal transformation with before and after and that, but they want to definitely help me find their character and to bring that out and mold that to up the SEO, purposes and things. And when I was first introduced to him on a Friday night on WhatsApp through another client of mine that's always raving about my services and the results, I was like, oh, I can't, because he was coming in for 2 days. And I was like, I can't do anything in 2 days in my head at the time. I was like, okay, I don't think I can do it. And plus, I'm supposed to have a workshop. But nobody signed up for it. So I was like, okay, but maybe somebody's going to sign up like that morning, so I have to be available, right? So my first instinct is like, no, this guy has a list of shops he wants to go to. Why is he going to pay a lot of money for me to take him shopping with him? It makes no sense to me. But I know that about my head, that, initially we have voices. The other Aya is like, no, this is crazy. Don't do it. He's going to hate you. He's not going to be happy with the results. But then I was like, I've never done that. But if I am able to make the time, I would love to try, because I love new challenges. But, so I made it clear that I've never done that, but I'm open to it, as long as he's open to trying out my entire program, because I didn't think that he could reap the benefits with just me taking him shopping. Right. So the result was amazing. I just, ended up going to at least 40 new stores all over Tokyo that I've never heard of, because I added some stores because of what he wanted based on his list. And he, in turn, did the whole dining etiquette and the walking and, went shopping with me and did the posing and, of course, the final photo shoot with me. And the first 3 shots from the photo shoot, he was like, oh my God, I'm done. I don't need anymore. He was so happy. Really? So yeah, it turned out to be a great couple of days. And then he just came back for the next couple of days to finish off his program and did the photo shoot. And it was just such a magical, journey for both of us. And every time I work with my clients, I feel like that. It's like, I don't know how perfect it's going to be. I just know it's going to be perfect. So it's so much fun for me, like discovering how that person will transform. So, it's like I have this unique gift of seeing how a person will look like in the first few seconds. Whereas everybody judges everybody in the first few seconds, by the way. Don't listen to those people who say otherwise. But I have the gift to see how each person can look like because of running my agency and whatnot. I've had to decide whether to take a model or not when they want to come and model for me, and turn them into the not so much an Om Patal or Thumb Patal, but I had to make sure they looked really good as soon as possible. So they would get called to auditions, which would then give them jobs. So that's my gift. And yeah, so it's been really fun for me to watch. And even though I know you're going to look as beautiful as you do, it's just been so much fun, you know, because, and especially with people like Helen, who has the balls to be laughing at how she used to be. And we have so many funny stories about, you know, like I had the shortest wardrobe check with Helen in my lifetime, I hope. It was like, okay, is this all you own? Are you serious?
It was pretty funny. So like, you know, buying clothes and shoes and handbags was not a priority for me. And when Aya came over to my home and she's like, okay, show me your handbags. And I'm like, this is it. And she's like, how do you coordinate? I'm like, well, it's not very difficult because I have one bag.
One black shoes. I'm like, what?
So it's the shortest wardrobe check and then the
longest
shopping
ever. We had to buy like 3 years worth of clothes for her for every occasion, casual, date, party, business. But it was so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
And it was so fun when she's putting on clothes at Zara, like, it's lopsided. I'm like, it's supposed to be lopsided.
It's the asymmetric. So I've learned all about this asymmetrical thing. I even have asymmetrical nail design right now.
Asymmetrical. Be a little bit different than others. That's the key.
So good.
So fun.
Right. So you when we think about results, you got results.
Yeah.
From surrender.
Yeah.
Right.
I think so, yeah. I wasn't on the surrender experiment when I started my style coaching business. But yeah, I get for my style coaching business, I see immediate results. And it's so gratifying because you're happy and I'm happy. And then it continues because you're like, oh my God, I have so many people following me now, or I have so many opportunities now. And, you know, so even listening to you talking about how much longer it takes for you to pack to go back to England this time because you now own more than one bag and one pair of shoes. It was so fun. I'm like, yes, you know, and it's nice to take, you know, whatever space was occupying that space you now created to look great. You're not dying, you know, from giving that up. And I really feel that as shallow as it might come across, I feel that looking our best is so important too, and it's the most immediate way to feel good about ourselves. So of course your audience will respond more when you're looking more presentable, and of course your audience will want to know what you're selling or what you do more. And all that is great. You're going to make more money. You're going to have more boyfriends. You're going to have more, you know.
For those of you just listening, I had a shocked look on my face. I'm happily married.
Yes.
Happily married.
You just have to say no, delete, block. That's all. But it's all fun. But that's such a secondary effect. I think it's when you look at the mirror and you're like, wow, damn, you know, she's hot. You know, or it's just a new thing that most people don't think is for them. That's more reserved for models or actresses. And I really like people to feel attractive in their own skin because everybody's attractive. And this is also just a skill that you need to acquire. And once you acquire, you know, you're like, bring it on, camera. You know, here's my best size and my best pose. And it's a simple 1 hour thing, isn't it? If you think about it. Just stand, which angle to do, just vary your poses, which I share in my weekly style tips on my Instagram. So
we'll definitely be linking to that as well. What I wanted to add though is like you just said that it maybe seems shallow about, you know, feeling good yourself, but to me one thing that was really impactful about the whole style coaching journey is the impact it had on other people, because I saw how happy a lot of people were.
Your husband, your daughter, your family.
And my clients, you know, like, so shortly after we started that work together, I particularly remember one of my clients, and she said, oh, I just feel so great being in the room with you because of your energy. And then going to other clients and, you know, just corporate clients, and at the reception, the women at the reception will call the other women and say, Helen's here, come and look what she's wearing
today. It's not the same as last time, right?
It's not that same black suit with the floral blouse that I wore for everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost comical with you because you have this one uniform you created for some reason. And that's to blend in as a foreigner.
Well, and in the corporate world, so I had the belief that I had to wear my dark suit and my blouse to fit in with my corporate situation.
Yeah. Which to me is so shocking even now when I listen to my clients, because I'm taking clients who are change makers like you. So your message could be more heard, and I like to contribute in that way. But a lot of the people in my business have shared that they didn't want to stand out, and I'm thinking because it's a business in Japan anyway. They said it's I can't wear accessories. And I'm like, wait, but it's your company, right? Yeah. And you're like a / coach, right? Yeah. And there's no uniform, right? Yeah. And it's like, why do you have all these stipulations and regulations? Why don't you be the first person who dresses hot and has a great message to share? And why can't you have it all? So I think once you break out of that mentality, you're like, wow, here I go, cleavage. Why not? Like, if you got it, flaunt it.
It definitely has.
Yeah.
So we've gone quite long with this interview. I wanted to just start to wrap up now with what other messages, what else do you want to share with our listeners? And then in a moment we'll just go to where people can find out more about you. But first of all, anything else that you wanted to share with our listeners and our viewers today? And just have a quick look at the notes. It's always good to have notes to check on.
There's so many, so it's so hard to
maybe we have to have a follow-up.
Yeah, but I think, to tie it into my style coaching program, I have, as you've experienced, we not only focus on the outside, but we focus on mannerisms and attitude and things like that. And you, of course, needed so much less of that kind of coaching. But I think everything's a whole package of us, right? So once you try to elevate your skills anywhere, it'll have some sort of impact, positive impact on other areas.
Yeah.
So if there's anything you don't mind trying, such as getting a new haircut maybe, or wearing a mini skirt maybe, or trying a new restaurant, trying a new country, and I always tell my clients, when I have workshops, I tell my participants that if you have this idea in your head that a 50-year-old mother, wife, CEO can't wear a mini skirt, then go to a different country, go to a different city, go to a different restaurant where you're not going to be, shamed or criticized, because you can predict what your, family might tell you when you come back home and beautiful and sexy, because they might just. A mother might say, what are you doing? You're a mother. Why are you wearing a mini skirt? In that case, it's better to increase your confidence elsewhere, and that elsewhere is easier when it's strangers. So I often recommend just travel, go somewhere, go to a new place, and then elevate your confidence, and then come back. And then if your husband's like, whoa, what's going on, you can be like, it's my new look, and you'll feel much more confidence.
Right.
So do anything you can to gain confidence.
Yeah. It's like taking small steps out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
So you're not doing it with the people that you know, where it's kind of high risk, but you're doing it in a place where people don't know you. So it's that small step, and then you see how it feels. You gain a bit more confidence, and then you can do a bit more.
And another thing I do is I recommend, especially my Japanese female clients, to choose a name of a sexy actress or a model that they like, that they find to be poised and elegant. So I have women named Marilyn for Marilyn Monroe and Jane Birkin and Kate Moss and Monica Bellucci and most recently Penelope Cruz. And I call them, instead of their Japanese names, instead of names with ko at the end especially seem to have much more restriction, I think. But Japanese names, not necessarily Japanese names, but I think your names is attached to so many things you can't do.
Right.
So then dump that, just as models do, just as Genoshin does. Dump that name, pretend you're a Veronica from today, or Elisabetta, or Vanessa, and this is what I call you, and this is what you can call yourself. So what would Marilyn do in this situation?
Exactly.
And you can totally change your attitude, and it makes you have fun with everything. If your husband's like yelling at you, you'd be like, what would Audrey Hepburn do in this situation?
Yeah, it's that different identity.
It's a different identity. So, and nobody has to know. But I really enjoy being and doing the unexpected. Is one of the things that's in my roadmap for our program. So I think it's really fun for everyone to role play. So that's another advice. Become whoever you identify as the confident, successful person. And who's to stop you? You can actually physically change your name, by the way. I have so many times. Not only because of my divorce.
I know.
You can change your name. You can drop your name. You can do whatever you want. So,
So there's one thing that you can definitely do is to think of a different identity name, the kind of identity that you aspire towards, and then you start to act more in that, think more in that way, act more in that way, and then you start to feel more in that way as well.
And I think you included that in the recent CPR class. In the beginning, when you asked us to introduce yourselves, you said, what do you want us to call you?
Yes.
So
it doesn't have to be the fixed name, it can be whatever name. I had a workshop a few years ago, and at the beginning of the workshop, in some of the workshops where there's a lot of participants, they have like a nameplate and they can write their name on. And so I say, write the name that you want me to call you. You don't have to write your full name. Right. So there was one guy, and there was 3 different times that he attended my workshop, and I noticed every time he chose a different name.
That's cool. Is it like Keanu or Brad?
Oh, he was. I think the first time he was doctor, and the second time he was captain. And I can't remember what it was, but it was like really kind of empowering names that he chose for himself. And I just thought it was great.
That's amazing.
Give yourself whatever name feels good for you. All right, love that advice. So where can people find more about you?
So you can follow me on my Instagram at Ayajin Star Coach, all small letters, on Facebook, and I have a lot of information on my website, which is ayajin.com, AYAJEAN.com. So I hope to meet all of you sometime, someday. All the Marilyns and Elizabeths.
Yes.
So it's a joy being here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to link to all of those ways to contact Aya and some of the other things that we've mentioned in the show notes. Definitely get in touch with her. Definitely follow her on Instagram. Such inspiring photos and simple tips as well that you can even put into practice.
For sure. My recent one is on posing, different ways to pose. So it's really helpful. If you hate your pictures, check it out.
Love it. All right. Thank you so much, Aya. Really appreciate it.